The scent of pine and cinnamon hung heavy in the air, now tainted with the coppery tang of blood. Shattered ornaments glittered on the floor of Santa's workshop, reflecting the flickering light of the burning Christmas tree. The once jolly space was a scene of unspeakable carnage. Santa lay sprawled beneath the tree, his red suit soaked crimson. A single ornate icicle, normally used to decorate the eaves of his workshop, protruded from his chest. His normally rosy cheeks were ashen gray, his eyes wide and staring at the ceiling, the twinkle extinguished. Mrs. Claus knelt beside him, her face a mask of grief and disbelief. Her hands, usually busy knitting warm socks and mittens, were now covered in her husband's blood. Silent tears froze on her cheeks in the frigid air. The elves, usually a bustling hive of activity, stood frozen, their faces etched with horror. The toys lay abandoned, half-finished, a testament to a Christmas that would never be. The rhythmic hammering and sawing that usually filled the workshop were replaced by an eerie silence, broken only by the crackling of the flames. Outside, the reindeer pawed the ground restlessly, their breath clouding the air. Rudolph's nose, usually a beacon of hope and guidance, flickered dimly, a dying ember in the encroaching darkness. No one knew who had done it, or why. There were whispers, of course, disgruntled elves, overworked and underappreciated. A jealous competitor from a rival holiday. Even rumors of a rogue reindeer, driven mad by the endless pressure of Christmas Eve. But the truth remained elusive, shrouded in the growing shadows of a Christmas night that had turned deadly. The world outside, unaware of the tragedy unfolding at the North Pole, continued to celebrate, oblivious to the fact that Christmas, as they knew it, was over. The presents remained undelivered, the stockings empty. The laughter and joy of Christmas morning would be replaced by confusion and fear. And as the flames consumed the workshop, engulfing Santa's lifeless body in their fiery embrace, the question remained, what would happen now? The news spread like wildfire, whispered in hushed tones at first, then proclaimed in bold headlines, "Santa Claus is dead!" The initial shock gave way to confusion, then a strange sense of peace. For the first time in generations, the relentless commercialism that had engulfed Christmas seemed to falter. The plastic Santas in shop windows looked oddly out of place. The jingles on the radio felt hollow. Children, strangely, weren't as distraught as the adults feared. Perhaps they sensed the shift in the air, a return to something deeper, something more real. Instead of letters to the North Pole, they asked questions about the nativity scene that had always been a quiet backdrop to the holiday frenzy. "Who is that baby?" they'd ask, pointing to the manger. "Why is he in a barn?" Churches, usually sparsely populated on Christmas Eve, were overflowing. Carols about sleigh bells and reindeer gave way to hymns about angels and shepherds. The story of the birth of Jesus, the reason for the season, resonated with a newfound clarity. Families gathered, not around piles of presents, but around the warmth of their relatives, sharing stories, not of fictional elves, but of Jesus and hope. The world didn't end with Santa. In fact, it felt like a new beginning. The emptiness left by the absence of a jolly old man in a red suit was filled with something profound. The wonder of Christmas wasn't lost, it was transformed. It became the miracle of a silent night, a holy night, the night our Savior was born. The twinkling lights no longer belonged to Santa. They reflected the star that shone over Bethlehem, guiding wise men and ordinary people alike to the true miracle of Christmas. The spirit of giving remained, not in the frantic exchange of budget-busting gifts, but in the acts of genuine kindness. Santa may have been gone, but Christmas, in its purest form, was finally found.